What's going on, Atlanta? Man, it's great to be back here. Great to be at the Fox Theater. We welcome all our great members of the UFC Fight Club. Man, I feel like I'm a rock and roll star right now. I get to sing with the music. Hey, first of all, give yourselves a big round of applause. The Fight Club is truly the most devoted group of fans that we have of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, so thank you very much for being here. My name is Mike Goldberg. Tomorrow night, Joe Rogan and I will have the pleasure of calling our main event for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship as Johnny Bones Jones fights Sugar Rashad Evans. Just a quick note, because we are expanding our Fight Club to all around the world. Look at you people who know what you're doing already in line to ask questions. How good is that? All right, just a reminder, those watching us live online and on Xbox Live, to participate in the live video chat with UFC fighters monthly. Join UFC Fight Club at UFCFightClub.com. So let's do that. People around the world on Xbox, also online, thank you for being with us today. Our special guest is a very special person in a lot of ways. We'll get to that in a moment. As you guys well know, this is how it works. You guys ask questions from each side. The official weigh-ins for UFC 145, Jones versus Evans, will take place right here on this stage at 4 p.m. So it's going to be a ton of fun. You can fire off any kind of questions you want, and let's get it rocking and rolling, because this man truly is one of the greatest fighters in the world. But more importantly, he is the most entertaining man in the history of mixed martial arts. And in June, he will travel to Brazil to fight for the UFC Middleweight Championship. He is Chael Sonnen.
It's repression all over the place, but I struggle through. I'm here, your humble servant. Dana and I will sit down like we always do. We'll review a whole bunch of Strike Force contracts. By the way, how's Fedor? Is he awake yet? Did anybody wake Fedor up? Is Fedor okay? What happened in California? Well, they elected a liberal as governor. They had no way of knowing because he ran as a Republican. He bankrupted the state, banged his nanny, had a kid, retired. Why are you asking me about that? Well, I am a brilliant man. And Mr. Waffles hates to be disturbed when he's taking a nap. You're telling me I'm 1/10 higher than the average man? Retest that. You must have caught me on a low day. That guy's been dropped more times than the ball in Times Square. You heard about the time that Ed Soros, the Noguera brothers, and Anderson all walked into a bar, but there was only one stool left, right? So they just turned it upside down? You heard that? Did you know that one? Is that what this is about?
Please welcome our special guest, the top contender in the UFC middleweight division, Chael Sonnen! What's going on, my friend? You are armed and ready with props and gifts and your belt, I mean, your championship belt.
I appreciate that, thank you. Still undefeated and still undisputed.
Yes. This, by the way, is the easiest Q&A I will ever do, because it's going to mostly be this man. He has defeated Matt Serra for the easiest Q&A guest ever, so thank you very much. And great work on TV as well.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for
quite
noticing.
handsome. Are you enjoying that?
I have a lot of fun with it. I think the TV's... I cannot see a single thing. I got nothing but lights in my eyes. My goodness, is there an audience out
You're like
here
David
somewhere?
Lee Roth right now in Van Halen.
Yeah, I can't see a thing.
There's just a sea of lights and people, and that's all you're going to see in Brazil, by the way.
Yeah, no, I
There's
understand.
a sea of lights and a bunch of people who don't like you.
Well, good. Well, good. They'll be saying the same thing.
All right, you want to fire it away? You want to get started?
I'm ready. I want to set this book down is what I want to do, so let me plug my book right now. I wrote this for you people, so you're all very welcome. This is called The Voice of Reason, your VIP pass to enlightenment, written by yours truly. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's move on to some questions.
All right, let's start right over here, sir. You get us started for Chael Sonnen.
What's up, Chael? I met you.
What's up, Chael? What's up? Well, you know what it's like to be me. I'm always getting pulled over and harassed. People assume I'm a rapper. You know my flow. Young man with money and a fancy car. It's rough, but thank you for asking. What's up with you? That's a better question.
I met you a couple times in Vegas. You once told me the history of the WWE Attitude Era, and one of the best days of my life.
Well, thank you.
When I heard that you're going to do the Q&A, I jumped on a plane from California to ask you this question. Brock Lesnar just signed a contract, 1 year, $5 million deal with the WWE. When you beat Anderson Silva and embarrass him in front of his friends and family, will you go Will you go and tape the WWE strap as well, just because you can? And are you doing a book tour?
I will go to the WWE. I will sit in the front row. I will cheer for CM Punk, and I will get up and come back to my promoter, Dana White. Will I do a book tour? Yes, and I'm doing it right now. The Voice of Reason, written by yours truly. I thought we already covered this. Are you not paying attention? Is this thing on? Amazon.com, #1 book, New York Times bestseller already. Voice of Reason.
Well, that's Vic, though. Vic is a regular guest here. So, Vic, thank you very much.
Vic, thanks, pal.
Vic
Thanks for
waited in
coming
line.
out,
He's
too.
been in line since 10 o'clock last night to
You're a
ask the
good man.
first question.
You really? Good
Yeah.
job. Thank you, buddy.
He's very devoted.
Thank you, Vic.
So this is the official start of the book tour. The book tour is every day in your life, isn't it?
That really
Yeah.
is true. The book is on tour.
What happened to the first part of your career when you didn't speak? What was? Did you have a toothache or something? Because you are making up for lost time, brother.
Well, I don't know. Again, I'm just seeing nothing but lights. I'm so excited to be here with all of you people in Atlanta.
Well, Tito Ortiz was my guest in Sweden, and Tito said that he spoke to you about being a little bit more outspoken. I said, "Oh, thanks, Tito. It's your fault then."
I really like Tito. That's good. He's got a fight coming up with Forrest. That's exciting. You know, I actually wrote a song for you people here in Atlanta to try to brighten your days. This is a true story, but they left my guitar. I lost my guitar at luggage at the airport. So if anybody has a guitar, and don't bring me one of those heavy metal drug addict guitars. I'm talking about a 6-string like George Strait or Ronnie Millsap would play. If you have one of those in your car and you bring it, I will sing you my song.
Where's my good friend Rick Cushman right now? I bet he's got a guitar you can
guitar
use.
in the back here?
Where is it, Rick?
Anyway.
Next question over here.
Chael, thank you for coming to my hometown, Atlanta, Georgia.
Pleasure.
I have a two-part question. There's a lot of rumors online that your fight's getting moved to Vegas 4th of July weekend because of the UN convention. The second part is, I will be in Vegas that weekend, and if your fight gets moved there, when you're gracious enough to defend your title against Anderson Silva and grant him a rematch, your third defense for your undefeated middleweight championship of the world, can I walk out with you to the octagon?
His third defense.
Let's start with part one. Now,
There's a man drinking the Kool-Aid.
I wasn't ignoring you by sending a text message, but you asked me a very good question, and the only guy that's going to have that answer is Uncle Dana. So what do you say we give him a call right now, and we all find out together? Now, you got to bear with me. This is an old phone. That really is his voice. All right, apparently the mystery will continue. Listen, the question, I knew he wouldn't answer. He never picks up that phone, but I thought it'd be funny to hear you guys know that the president himself has the Beastie Boys on his download there. So that really was the bit for that. But listen, the fight with Anderson Silva is going to be on the top of Anderson Silva's head the first time I see his prissy little ass. They asked me, are you going to wait till June? Are you going to wait till July? I'll wait right now. Bring the curtain down. Bring that turkey up here. I got business with that guy, and we're going to take care of it the first time I see him. Wrote a song for Anderson Silva, as a matter of fact. You want to hear that? Anderson, Anderson, little Miss Anderson. I call you a girl, but you're not. You're a mannequin. Anderson, Anderson, little Miss Anderson, I am Chael Sonnen, and I am the people's champion. Look, you're a wuss. There's no way to put it lightly. You ducked me for years, and now Dana's making you fight me. When I beat you in Brazil, I'm going to leave a whole lot richer, but I'm not going anywhere until that old lady makes me a steak for dinner. Anderson, Anderson, Princess Silva, fight you with my eyes closed and I'd still kill you. Anderson, Anderson, Princess Silva. Does this bicep look familiar? Next question. Oh, what was the second part? Can you walk out with me?
That was a two-part question.
I would love to have you with me, but you got to be a licensed quarterman. So let's revisit that. Find me on Twitter.
All right,
buddy.
All right, thank you very much for that very good song. Your song lyrics were excellent, but you sing better than you fight better than you sing. Yeah. Michael Jackson would not be proud of that, by the way.
That's with no formal training.
Next up over here.
Hi, I really liked your song.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that I'm a big fan. I think you really bring great energy to the UFC. And I remember your fight you just recently had with Michael Bisping, and you asked Joe Rogan a question after the fight, and you wanted to know how he felt standing next to your greatness.
Right then.
So I would like to know if I can come stand next to your greatness.
Would you like to be mesmerized?
I would love to.
Come on down. Well, come on down.
You know
Nothing
what?
between us but space, young lady.
That was a great way to break all the rules to get on stage.
Yeah, come
that
on
was such a
down.
clever intro that, yes, come on up. Now, nobody else gets away with that, though. Just, I got to be the bad guy. I got to be the teacher here. Uncle Chael would let everybody up. I love that. It was very clever how she finagled her way up here.
I forget, this is all for TV now. We got cameras on.
That's right. And don't forget the four tickets for her too, Chael.
Yes, I'd hate to keep her off camera. Oh, you need some tickets? Here, let's give Dana a call. Here, let me get my phone back out. Sherry's about to answer now that we... Thank you very much for coming out. I do appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Fire away over here, bud.
First off, it's a honor to be in the presence of greatness.
Mutual. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, you're talking to Chael.
Well done, Goldberg.
Sorry.
Well done.
And my second question, or first question would be, after you beat Anderson, how many more titles do you think you'll take in different weight divisions?
That's very nice of you, but what I would really like to do is I'd like to do my part against Anderson. I'd like Dan Henderson to do his part against whoever he comes in contact with at 205, and maybe we can just run along together for a little while. That would be my real hope. But I've got an agreement at 185. There's a lot of guys that need beat up at 185. For some reason, Vitor Belfort thinks he's just like slid off my radar, all of a sudden running his mouth, I want to fight you, well, I'm not a hard guy to find, Vitor, so I will find you, brother. Very welcome.
He's going to stay with that Brazilian theme, it seems, right? President of Brazil. And, hey, Hendo is very likely going to get the winner of tomorrow night's main event between John Jones and Rashad Evans. So Dan Henderson will be here later. We've got a special presentation. You guys are going to love it. So a little precursor to our future on stage. Next up over here.
Real quick for Mike Goldberg, I'm Weston Tomberlin off of Twitter.
What's going on, buddy?
Yeah.
My Twitter friend. How are you? Yes, we'll get that picture, whatever you need afterwards, Wes.
And for Chael Sonnen, the Brazilian fans hate you. Especially if you win against Anderson Silva. How do you think you can make it out of Brazil alive? Because they were threatening Chad Mendez.
Well, you bring up a very good point, and I don't like that. I don't like being in this spot, and I think that it went a little bit too far, and that wasn't my intention. It really was not. And, I'm going to Brazil. I will be there. We have a press conference there on Tuesday. So I'm trying to smooth things over with these guys, but I don't exactly know how, right? So I packed a suitcase full of gifts, full of things from America that they don't have. I'm trying to merge. I'm trying to merge the two countries in a way, that maybe we can work together. For example, I bought packets of soap for them because I know they don't have it, and I just want to help. And I brought shampoo, and I brought them dental floss. And speaking of dental floss and dentistry, it's very interesting. This is a true story. Did you know that the toothbrush was actually created in Brazil? Yeah, it's true. Had it been created in America or really anywhere else, it'd be called the teeth brush. But that's the way that happened. And when I get there on Tuesday, I'm going to explain to these guys that I didn't mean to do this, and I'm going to come with gifts and see if we can smooth it over. Honest mistake.
I love your adaptability because I thought it was Mississippi. But I guess it was Brazil. I love the adaptability.
No formal training
You need to work on that shuffle because you're going to be shuffling when you get there. To get out of the way. Next one over here.
Chael Sonnen, I got a quick question. After you're done whipping Andy's ass for the second time, who's next on your radar?
Well, I really don't know. There's a lot of guys to compete with in that division. One of the toughest fights I ever had was my last one, the guy named Michael Bisping. That was a pretty hard puzzle to solve for me. So I think, there's some potential to do rematches there, and I happen to be a fan of rematches. So, some people are, some people aren't. I happen to really like them. And anytime you have two guys that truly believe they're going to win when they go to fight, that's when you have a great match. I truly believe I can beat him, Bisping. He truly believes he can beat me. I think that'd be a really great match.
Would you be interested in fighting Paul Harris?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have a choice. Would I be interested in fighting him? Sure, if he becomes the guy, absolutely. I will never be a closet champion. I will never one of these guys says, oh, this guy's name's not big enough, or this guy's not. Come one, come all. Bring them on. Pale Harris or any one of them.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. But I think he's very good, for the record, if that's what you're asking me. Hey, nice shirt, young man.
Yeah, they're all dressed up in their Chael gear. I like that.
Long-time fan, first-time caller.
Welcome to
to our
the show,
radio
my
program.
All right. When you're fighting Anderson in Brazil, are you training to not finish him in the first round so you can prolong his beating for 25 minutes? Or are you going to beat his ass as quickly as possible so you can get out of that godforsaken country and back to the United States of America?
See, now that's a genius right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Is that
You
your
know,
brother?
I haven't even agreed to this fight with Anderson because my demand has not been met yet. I have a demand of my own. Anderson had his list, and I have but one. There will be 80,000 people in attendance, and my demand is simple: silence. When I come through the curtain, they will sit down, they will shut their mouths, they will show respect to their American guest, or I will go back to the dressing room, back to the car, back to the airport, back to America, and those ingrates aren't even going to see me fight.
Thank you,
What was the question? I got carried away there. What were we even talking about? What's going to happen? Am I training to put Anderson away? I'm training to put that turkey away, man. I want to get him out of there. Dangerous guy. Can't overlook those guys. Got to get rid of them quick.
Thank you.
I have an
Pleasure.
admission. The more you speak of that fight, the less excited I am to call it, and the more fearful I am of going there with you. So thank you very much.
That's the life of a
So
gangster,
keep going, because
Goldberg.
Rogan and I
You
are going to
shouldn't run around with
Rogan and I
no
are going to be
men.
calling it from a monitor in a cave somewhere.
You probably should. You got to check your company. You shouldn't hang out with me. I'm bad news. Oh, another well-dressed young man.
But he's not up yet, Mr.
All right,
Sonnen.
all
This
right,
gentleman
all right.
is.
All right, Chael, this is a two-part question. First question, if you could choose just one person from any time or anywhere in history to fight or just give a royal ass-kicking to besides Anderson Silva, who would it be? And second part is, are you ever going to run for president?
Well, the first part, I speak for everybody. It'd either be Bin Laden or Hitler, right? I mean, those guys are the ones that need beat up. So it's very hard to play that game without saying it'd be one of those two guys. But, my ideal fight would be the smallest guy with the most atrocious record in the largest venue for the most enormous paycheck. That would be my ideal matchup if I could somehow put that together. I love easy fights, and that's why I'm already pining for Anderson and then Vitor and these guys. I'm already trying to feather my nest with bums. That's the way I like to do it. Some guys like hard fights. I don't. I like to take the easy road. There was a second question, but again, my ADD kicked in. I was thinking of Dana's ringtone and the whole bit, and I've lost track. What was the second part?
Are you ever going to run for president?
Oh, right, my book. Yes, it's called The Voice of Reason. You can find it at Amazon.com. It's the #1 seller, and it's on the New York Times best list. Thank you for bringing it up. And as far as the presidency goes, you want to know what pisses me off? That Brian Stan does not run for office. And you guys, as Georgians, when he's from this state, he's registered, he's qualified, and he should be running, and you should be asking him that question. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would vote for Brian Stan.
I would vote for him right
I would
now.
vote for Brian Stan. And how classy a move was that? In Sweden, Brian Stan knew he had knocked out Alessio Sakara. He didn't throw the extra punch. Mark Goddard came in and stopped the fight. That is what the competition, which takes place within mixed martial arts, is all about.
Not only did he not throw that extra punch, he actually said, I'm not throwing any more punches.
Right.
He said, I'm done.
Classy man.
You decide what to do, but I'm done. That was one of the cooler moves I've ever seen.
The line I heard about Mark Hominick a long time ago, and I think you could use it with Brian Stan. He is the man you would want your daughter to marry, but you wouldn't want your son to fight him.
Yeah.
That's Brian Stan right there.
And
Next up over
Hominick,
here.
that's pretty good.
Yep, you want to write that down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why
Man.
are you calling me? From Dana. Well, I guess I'll stop. All right.
Hey, Chael, amazing fighter, obviously a huge fan. Two questions real quick. The first one I want to talk about is Michael Bisping. Obviously, he just left Wolf Slayer. Would you even consider bringing him in to Team Quest? And I know I'm going to get some hate comments for this, but Anderson Silva and President Obama are two douchebags. No pun intended, y'all, all right? First Amendment. Freedom of speech.
That's a slippery slope. These are your words.
And two, he just stole my question. Brian Stan and you, Vice President, 2016.
That's a good call. That's a three-part, but that's a good call. First off, on the douchebag comment.
Yeah, that worked really well for Jacob Folkman, so we'll see you later.
First Amendment, and I like you, and you have on a great-looking T-shirt, but if you're ever going to insult a world champion and a president at the same time, don't use a line that you got out of your mother's medicine cabinet. Secondly, but again, I like you. Now, we're friends here. I'm not turning on you. I'm just turning, you know, I don't know why. I don't know where that's coming from. Secondly, that Goldberg had done something. What was the first question again?
About Michael Bisping.
There's so many questions. You know, I would love to train with Michael Bisping or anybody else. I don't buy into that whole, you know, you shouldn't work out with the guy if you got. I don't know what the difference is. I can remember being a wrestler. I used to live at the Olympic Training Center. We're in this tournament, and the Cubans are out there, and we're working out, and the Cuban coach sets up a tripod, and he locks it right on me. You know, he locks it right on me, but he thinks he's being sneaky. He's over here doing other stuff, but the camera's facing me, facing my workout, because I'm going to wrestle the Cuban in the quarterfinals. So I stop the workout, I walk over to his coach, and I say, let me save you the time. I'm going to shoot a high crotch to this leg, a single leg to this leg. I'm going to beat on your head, and when you get tired, I'm going to run you out of bounds in the third round. Film it all you want. So as far as I'm concerned, train with the guy all you want. If your skills are good, you're going to be able to execute against him anyway, and if they're not, you suck anyway. Go to the back of the line.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next one over here. Go ahead, bud.
Good evening, Mr. Sonnen. My name is Raul. I'm a fireman from Miami, 42 years practicing.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you
Mr.
very
Sonnen,
much.
a common thread in all the disciplines of martial arts throughout the years since the beginning of time have been respect and humility. Somewhere along the line, I'm sure it was taught to you starting off, but somewhere along the line you abandoned that. You've brought entertainment, the likes of Don King Productions, Floyd Mayweather, WWF. I know it's brought you attention, but do you feel that you've abandoned that long tradition in the martial arts for years? And please remember that not only are you representing the martial arts, but you're also representing America in almost 200 countries in UFC. What is your comment on that? What is your comment to the young practitioners that are coming up that may not be buying into your ways? By the way, you're wonderful on the mat. You're a great champion. I just wish you would act up sometimes with just a little bit more respect. That's all.
Well, now hold on. Raul's got, now hold on. He asked an okay question. Raul, first off, thank you for your service as a fireman. I sincerely mean that. But guys, hold on. I'm not a martial artist, and God, hand to God, I'm an award-winning author, and I don't even know what the word martial means. I'm not 100% I could spell martial, and I know I couldn't define it. So as far as the martial arts, Raul, in fairness, you have no realm of reference outside of what Hollywood taught you in the martial arts. You've never seen the martial arts outside of in the UFC. You didn't go to a junior high, a high school, a college that had into the martial arts. You've never been to a martial arts competition. Hollywood taught you to bow. Hollywood taught you to wear pajamas with little cotton, different colored belts. Hollywood taught you that it was about respect, not real life. I'm not a martial artist. I am a gangster from West Lynn, Oregon, and I win fights with these, and I make no goddamn apology. You're welcome.
Thank you, Raul. Good comments, though, I thought. Anyway, over here.
Hey, I'm J.W. Kirkland. This is my first event, and I just wanted to ask you two questions. One, who is your toughest opponent you have ever faced? And two, can I get your autograph?
Second part, absolutely. You can make your way down right now if you want to see. You got a T-shirt in your hand. And the first part, you know, I always say my toughest opponent was Yushin Okami. You know, but I think that Michael Bisping fight was a really hard fight for me. And I fought a guy named Terry Martin who had a run in the UFC, and he's kind of disappeared from the scene. And that was a really hard night for me. But they're all hard fights. I've never had an easy fight. You know, whatever energy you've got, you go out and use it all, and you leave at the end of the night feeling like you got hit by a truck.
Terry Martin from Chicago.
Terry Martin, yeah, from Chicago.
Yep. Spark plug with a ton of knockout power. Hey, as I mentioned, today we are on Xbox Live, and you are able to watch us online on Xbox Live. Don't forget, fans, you can have live video chats with UFC fighters monthly. You can join the UFC Fight Club at ufcfightclub.com, 4 o'clock, the official weigh-ins for UFC 145. Thank you very much. So yeah, we've got a couple of questions that came online. I'm going to fire those off at you, all right? First question comes from Patrick Zeh. who was your most influential role model?
In the sport of fighting here, I look up to three guys. I got Matt Lindland, Dan Henderson, and Randy Couture. Those are the guys that are the top of my gym. They're the ones that got up in the loft and threw the ladder down so I could climb up in it behind them. So without hesitation, Lindland, Henderson, and Couture.
Nicely done. The second question comes from Danny McComb. Have you ever invited WWE champ CM Punk to train with you?
No, I didn't. Just the opposite. He invited me to come train with him. We did a fight out in Chicago, which is his home city. But he is on the road, man. That guy's on the road. I texted him every day. He was in Russia, then he was in France, he's in Egypt. I mean, those guys are all over the place. So, no, I haven't, but he's a huge fan. Most of those guys are very big fans and follow the sport.
Yes, absolutely. So, great questions online. Keep firing them away for future fight clubs, and a reminder that you can join the UFC Fight Club at UFCFightClub.com. Next question over here. Go ahead.
Chael, you're quickly becoming known as the pound for pound king of trash talking.
See, and people make fun of me when I can't get it out. And see, you'd get tweeted if that was me. They'd be like, "Who can't talk?" Pound for pound.
Pound for pound. You obviously don't have a ring name. Have you considered changing that?
I sure haven't. You know, I don't think you can give yourself a ring name. You know, I don't know. But when I was young, they used to call me the foreman, not because I was in charge, but because I did the work of 4 men. So, you know, I like that one a little bit. I thought it had a ring to it, but no, you know, with a name like Chael, you don't really need a nickname.
Thank you very much. Next one over here.
Hello. Thank you for being here and answering our questions. This might be a little testy from the audience, but you were real clear about how you felt in your last fight with Anderson Silva. If you were in a street fight with him, what would you do to prevent him from rendering you unconscious via leg lock?
Okay, well, I think you mean be a triangle with his legs? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Well, to start with, if I was in a street fight with anybody, I would follow the good book. I'd turn my cheek and walk the other way. I'm not a street fighter. I'm a troublemaker, but I'm not a street fighter. So, if that was said and you know, we're to fight in the ring again, listen, the first time I fought Anderson, I did everything I could do to make it perfectly clear that our skills are not even close. That I am the best and this will not be close. As sure as night follows day, as soon as I started destroying him, he goes back to the Ed Soros school of excuse making and comes up with, you know, my rib and my back and my I will tell you again, he can get his excuses ready, but when we get done fighting, we're not even going to be close. And they can talk about he's not in his prime and this happened and this injury and all of this BS that they come up with as marketing, but I will stomp this man for 25 minutes until he gives up.
Fire away.
Chael, this is a 2-part question. First, I want to say we all know that you are a man among men, that you are the undisputed UFC champion, and that you are the alpha male of the UFC and the voice of reason among everyone in America. And as that man,
now you have our fans talking like you do.
That's very nice of you, actually. Yeah, stop. Stop. You're embarrassing me. Stop.
Keep going.
Come on.
As the first question is, you were supposed to fight Mark Munoz before he got injured. Is that a fight that you still want to take in the future?
That's a great fight.
And then the second question is, I know that you're an amazing fighter and everything, and that you have knockout power and all this stuff, and I just wanted to know if I could come up and get an autograph, and also feel what greatness feels like by taking a punch to the stomach from yours truly, the champion, undisputed of the UFC.
If you'll settle for a bear hug, you got a deal. But no, I can't punch you. But I'll gladly give you a squeeze if you would like.
Okay.
And you know, look, as far as the Mark Munoz question, did I miss something? We're laughing. Was I talking? I missed something? What's happened? As far as the Mark, this guy threw me off down here. Look at troublemaker down here in the front row. I gotta keep my eye on this guy right here. As far as Mark Munoz goes, look, that's a friend of mine. You know, I would never stop a friend from getting to the top. I would never do that. You know, from Munoz to Weidman to Camozzi to Jake Shields, who's talking about, these are friends of mine. I would never stop them from having their opportunity. So would I like the match for Mark? I would love to see Mark get to a title fight. Absolutely.
and bear hug.
Were you guys waiting for a punchline there or something? All of a sudden, the room got it was so silent. It was like Anderson Silva had walked in or something. And
well, it's just weird to hear you
everyone
talk
just kinda
about
like-
somebody else.
because somebody
Yeah.
kind of
It just
fallen
wasn't
asleep.
words. I wasn't used to you talking about a non-Brazilian fighter.
Oh, okay.
It had become
Oh,
very
is that what
accustomed to
it
hearing
was?
that.
So
This
what-
young lady right here, she doesn't find you that funny. I've been watching her Facebook. No,
but
she
he does. But he does. So it's okay.
I don't know if she's embarrassed by you or him or what the deal is, but you had a grumpy face a second ago, like. See, you know she does that face all the time, doesn't she, brother? Yeah. Yeah, I told you. All right, we'll get the next one when Chael gets done here. We got about 20 minutes left to fire away more questions. Thank you, everybody, being here. It looks like people are starting to filter in for the official weigh-ins. Tomorrow night, the UFC light heavyweight title is on the line. Obviously, your good friend Dan Henderson is going to be watching that fight very closely, and I'm going to guess that you feel he matches up brilliantly with either of those men, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, Dan Henderson is a champion. I mean, he's a champion amongst champions. They always talk about this pound-for-pound list, but Dan Henderson is the only guy that's actually covered 5 weight classes.
Right.
He beat the 170-pound world champion, was the 85, was the 205, and knocked out 2 former heavyweight world champions. So Henderson's really the only guy that you can really discuss in the pound-for-pound greatest. Now, that said, I think Rashad Evans is one of the best ever. You know, not only is he a world champion, not only does he have the best record, you know, people forget this about Rashad, but not only is he a former world champion, he has the best record in our business, 19-1. He's fought 6 world champions and he stopped them all. So there's nobody that can make those claims. Now, with that said, I consider myself a jack of all trades. You know, Joe Silva needs a week off, I'll fill in. You know, Dana's sick for a day, I'll take over. I'll tell you a job I couldn't do is I couldn't do Joe Rogan's job with you in a John Jones fight because I don't even know what those moves are called.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He hits techniques I've never even heard of, let alone seen. So, I mean, this fight's going to be all over the place. I can't wait.
It's like doing commentary for the Matrix movie. You just don't do it.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing out there.
Yes. Next question over here. Go ahead, Braves fan.
Yes, Mr. Chael Sonnen, Mr. Bronson here. Just got a quick question for you.
Very formal, aren't you?
Flew in from Hanoi, Vietnam. Just got in last
Welcome.
night. About 3 weeks ago, I took in my dog, Huggy Balls, out for a walk, and these 2 guys pulled up in a pedicab and cut me off, and then jumped out, and one of them put out a machete and was like, "Whoa!" You know, and then the other one grabbed Huggy Balls and they took off with him. You know, God knows where he is now. But I was sitting at home that night. I was thinking, you know, what would Van Damme have done? You know, what would Chuck Norris have done? And then I was like, what would Chael Sonnen, the American gangster, have done in that situation? So.
Well, it's much like the Adam Sandler movie. You don't come to a Q&A, you get out there and you find your freaking dog. That's the first thing I would have done. I hope you give Mr. Huggy Balls back, because all hell would break loose if somebody took Danger Waffles. That's my dog, I can tell you that much. But I'm glad you're okay. I don't know if that's a true story. It was very entertaining, but that's very scary if you were actually attacked by a machete. So I'm glad that you're okay, and I hope your dog is too.
I don't know about the dog, but I made it here. So
All right, buddy. Poor Huggy Balls. So sad. Next question, please. Who names their dog Huggy Balls?
Hey, Chael, I'm a big fan.
Well, then you're a wise man.
Continue.
Before the question, I just want to say, that guy Raul, he's my dad, and he says some crazy things sometimes.
No, he
and
had
I
the
just
right
want
to
to let
say
you
that.
know that I think you're awesome, and
Dude,
you're
about to
the
get
best
your
fighters
ass
out there right
grounded
now.
for like a year.
Raul's a fireman,
Seriously.
a fireman.
Do you still live at home?
And he raised
You still live at home? If you still live at home, you might agree with your dad, at least kind of pretend to. He's going to ground you. Your cell phone's gone. Done. It's turned off. He's calling AT&T right now. Oh, sorry. He's calling Metro PCS right now. And he's turning that phone off.
That's right.
Be careful, son. You sound like my 11-year-old talking back.
Yeah, my question is...
I'm just kidding. Raul, don't ground him. You want him to have his own voice. Even if he's wrong.
They always say that wrestling is the best base for MMA, and you being a highly accomplished wrestler and a highly accomplished fighter, I just wanted to hear what your opinion is on wrestling and how much it's improved your life and made you a better fighter.
Well, I can tell you this, you know, I don't know if wrestling is a great base, but hard work is a great base, and wrestling is very hard. So a lot of times you come from that. And again, you know, and I teased your father a little bit earlier when I was talking about the martial arts, you know, but these are guys punching the air, and this stuff's phony. This is stuff he learned in Hollywood. There's no other reference that any of us have besides the UFC and Hollywood for martial arts. So nobody actually even knows what it means. I always get faced with this reports when they come in and they tell me about the history of martial arts. And I'm like, oh, the history. So you mean when you watch Chuck Norris or when you watch Bruce Lee? Because I know you've never been to a martial arts event that wasn't called the UFC. With that said, you know, wrestling's a very good base, but at the end of the day, there's not a whole lot of champions in the UFC that are wrestlers. They all can do some wrestling, but they've all had to transform and do some other stuff too. You know, Jose Aldo, I don't think ever had a wrestling match, you know, and he's a fantastic fighter. GSP's the best wrestler in the company, and he doesn't even own a pair of wrestling shoes, so second best. Did I call him? You guys know what I meant. You guys know what I meant when I said that, right? Did I mention I have a book for sale called The Voice of Reason? Yeah, so I mean, wrestling is a great base, but the bottom line, hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, bud. You know, and I think that's the real key. And when Joe Rogan and I talk about that, wrestling as a skill is an outstanding base to have because you can dictate where the fight takes place, which is something you do very, very well. Want to make a man stand up, you wrestle in reverse like Chuck Liddell did, all the way into the Hall of Fame. You want to take him down and beat him up, you do what you did. You do a little of both when you're Randy Couture, Dan Henderson, and yourself. But embracing the grind and the things that you guys learn mentally and physically and emotionally by working through being wrestlers your entire life, that's why I believe Joe Rogan and many like him say that wrestling is the greatest base, because exactly what you talked about, Chael. It makes you tough, it teaches you heart, it teaches you determination, it teaches you to really fight through your emotions. Yeah. Right. See? I should be a wrestling coach. Yeah, that was Next good. Up.
What's going on, Chael?
What's up, young man?
One of your loyal fans here, straight out the ATL. I got a two-part question for you. First off, the Anderson Silva fight. Everybody knows that you dropped Anderson Silva down 300 times unless they live in some parallel universe or something like that. But I was just wondering, if the fight does stay standing, are you working like with some world-class strikers? Have you brought in like some guys? I mean, they don't have to be like Muay Thai strikers or anything like that, but just guys that are good at striking, you know, to kind of help you sharpen up your skills standing up. And number two, after you whip Anderson Silva's ass again and retain your belt, can some of us Chael Sonnen fans get invited to the retirement party? Can we get our VIP passes to the retirement party? I mean, what's going on with that, Chael?
Absolutely. I'm going to be hosting the Anderson Silva retirement party in Brazil on June 23rd.
Me and my buddy want to be the first on the guest list, man.
Yeah, you want that guy's autograph, you better get it soon, because on June 24th, that guy's yesterday's news.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And, you know, as far as your question, look, we work on everything. You know, I show up to practice, I have no say in practice. My coaches have it covered, I do what's asked of me, and I go home. And we haven't brought anybody specific for any fight ever. It's the same guys every time. We work hard every day, go home and live with the result.
Cool. You're the man, Chael.
Thank you, brother. You're the man.
Oh, you're the man.
That man's got a good voice. I thought he was going to break out in a rap for a second.
Yeah,
that was
he did
sweet.
good.
He had some rhythm going. It was awesome. Next up.
I got some opening remarks and a question. I'm a Master Ortiz Airborne Ranger out of Vicenza, Italy, 170 skirt.
Thank you for what you do, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I really always wanted to thank the UFC and let America know that the UFC has supported the troops throughout the last 10 years with free pay-per-view events, had an astronomical impact on my life while I was in Afghanistan and Iraq. That's my statement for today, but I also got a question as far as the middleweight. What would you do if Rich Franklin wins his next fight? Would you be willing to fight Rich Franklin?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, once again, I can't say this any clearer. I will fight any of them, and it drives me insane when guys won't. You know, I'm a competitor first and foremost, and I don't believe in these, you know, padding your record and talking about your career. I've heard nut jobs talk about their legacy and say, look, your legacy is going to be what it is. A guy that ducked, hid, and ran from everybody, if that's what you want to do. But yeah, I mean, I would compete with Rich Franklin or whoever.
Do you think he's a contender to that?
Look, I think Rich Franklin's a very good fighter. I think he'll go down in the Hall of Fame. He helped carry the company in some very important years. And, you know, I would gladly compete with him. That's as best as I can do for you.
I got something for you, Chael, if I can give it to you.
I would love it.
And UFC, thank you. God bless.
Thank you very much.
America.
Thank you. If you guys want to check out a website, I actually have the unique opportunity of working with the TD Foundation this weekend, and Tom Durline, an Army vet who has helped a lot of people overseas. It's a great organization. The UFC's jumped on to help me support them. If you get a chance when you guys get to your computers or your smartphones, tdfoundation.org. It's a great organization. Men and women like this man right here keep us free every day, so we can do what we do, and that's have fun hanging out with Chael Sonnen. So a big round of applause for this nice gentleman. Everybody in our armed forces, please. Fire away. Go ahead and get started, bud.
Yes, thank you. My name's A.J. Varel. I'm the chairman for the Pro Martial Arts and MMA Hall of Fame, which is now chartered as a museum in New York State.
Nice.
Of course, we all know New York State is a holdout state for MMA at this point. I'm also one of the bill drafters who's writing the language to allow it in. Of course, we just passed the Senate the other day.
Yep.
And
we got our
hopefully
fingers
we can get
crossed.
this before the Assembly.
Madison Square Garden, here we come.
And perhaps we could carry your product in your book at the Hall of Fame, since we have 22.4 million visitors in Niagara Falls.
Wow.
So, and of course, the Hall of Fame is being placed where Rashad Evans is from.
Yes, where he was born in Niagara Falls,
We have
right?
2 upstate New York guys who can't fight in New York State. So everybody, contact your legislators, let them know that they can, that they should support the bill. My question is to you, with the way that the bill is structured for New York State, as we know that many are different for different states, would you support an amateur proclamation of rules and support amateur rules that would allow it in New York State as well? And do you think that that would help the professional aspect pass?
Well, you're asking about a bill, and it's a very complex matter without knowing more about it. So allow me to speak on what you just said without knowing all of the fine details, just in case there was something in fairness that you may have left out. But I can tell you, I'm from Oregon, and we have an amateur athletic commission, and it's the exact same commission, exact same office, exact same members, exact same regulation that the professionals would have. In fact, the UFC came there, Couture versus Nogueira, I believe it was UFC 102, August of a couple of years ago. That same commission is who would oversee amateur athletics. And our amateur show in Oregon has put 13 fighters into the UFC, 1 judge, 1 timekeeper, and 1 referee. So it can definitely have a positive impact. It can also be abused. It can also be a way for a dirtbag promoter to come in and try to backdoor a deal, which can give a big black eye on the entire movement. So you've got to be very careful. In Oregon, they pull it off correctly. If they're going to do it in New York, I hope that they consult the Oregon Commission. But without knowing more about the bill, I really can't weigh in.
And since I'm one of the bill drafters, I would definitely like to sit and talk with you. The Hall of Fame is chartered with the New York State Department of Education, and perhaps there's something we can do together to make that happen.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing.
On another note, and the last note I have on this, and I'd like to give you my card before I go, come up and say hi.
Sure.
Back in 2010, President Obama and I were talking about, Michael Bisping was blogging within a couple hours, asking about who we were talking about. We were talking about mixed martial arts and the fights that happened in the recent months. And I haven't said this publicly, but you are one of the fighters we were talking about.
Well, I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
And I think
thank you for your work in New York.
And if you know the history of the UFC, I mean, they've worked very hard with the unified mixed martial arts rules. Chael, as you know, it's always been the most important thing in any fight is the protection of our fighters. You know, our safety and our protection is as good as any professional sport. So it's time for New York to jump on board because everybody else has. We've got a great record. We've got great fighters who go in there and compete. And hopefully it'll be sooner than later that we'll be in the state of New York. So anything anybody can do, let's keep that rolling. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, fire question over here. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Josh, and my big brother's over there, and we're about to be the next big thing in MMA and the UFC. So we're seeing if we had the opportunity to train with you one of these days.
I'm free tomorrow morning. We could do something then. You got to give me a ride, though. I don't have a car out here.
All right, sounds good.
All right, I'm at the Hilton.
All right.
And good luck to you and your brother.
And now it's no longer safe to stay at the Hilton.
I appreciate it.
Next up, couple more questions, guys. Go ahead.
Hi, Chael. My name is Graham Tolbert from Panama City, Florida.
Hi, Graham.
I was wondering who would win a fight between you and Ronda Rousey.
Between me and Ronda Rousey, I'm a big Ronda Rousey fan. I think she's doing a really good job. I'm not going to weigh in on that. As a matter of fact, I think somebody else already did. I think a guy already threatened to do something there. I'm not going to fall into that same trap. But I am a fan. She is a friend, and I wish her well.
Also, are you doing any autograph signings after this?
Absolutely.
Okay, where would that be?
But that'll be
Probably
right
not
here.
Awesome.
That'll be right here, and I will make sure I don't leave till I get you.
Thank you. Go ahead, bud.
All right, I'm Jay from Chattanooga, Tennessee. How you doing, Chael?
Well, thank you.
I'm not your biggest fan, though. I respect your game, but I respect
Start with that
Silva's
next
game
time.
a little bit more.
I understand.
Okay, so my first question is, you made a statement about, did your bicep look familiar to Anderson? I wanted to ask you how his crotch smelled after 5 rounds. I know it's pretty sweaty.
Well done. Actually, let's give him a hand. That's very well done. That's good work, actually, by you. I for one, respect
And
that.
then also, with as much game that you do have, why did you tap out? Why didn't you just go to sleep?
Well, how would have that benefited me? Why would I go to sleep? That's like the guy that says, I want to tell you I get my arm broke. Well, enjoy yourself, but I'm not going to sign up for that one. I got work to do in the morning. No, I understand. Hey, and you know what? I got no problem with your question, brother. You can ask anything you want. That was fair game, and it was also very funny.
Okay.
Very well played, but yet he will not respond. Next up.
Hey, Chael, what's up? I'm a huge fan of yours
Thank
as
you,
a
buddy.
fighter, a personality, and a man. And I don't care that we may have some differences politically. I don't care about that shit. I think sports and politics can be kept separate. It's America, a free country. You can say whatever you want, but that's just how I personally feel about it. I love you. My question is, if you were to raise I have a son, and I want to raise him to be a championship fighter, what are some foundational things that you should teach him to help him be like you when he grows up?
Well, you know, the absolute key is motivation and support. Nothing else. Let him figure it out. He's going to have failures and successes and stub his toe here and there and get back on track, and just support him and keep him motivated. Because, you know, sports or anything, it's a grind. It's every single day. It's years and years, and it's hard. It's hard just to get in the car each day and go to practice knowing what you're going to have to go through at practice. And motivation's the key. If I could give you one word, motivate him.
And let his coaches coach him. Too many parents have too much to say to Johnny and Joey and Jimmy and Susie. If you got a good coach, let your coaches coach him. And then you get yelled at for 10 years like I did by Mr. Cushnan. Next up.
Hey, Sonny Wheaton. Hey, earlier you said you were a fan of rematches. If you take Anderson out in June, will you give him one?
Oh my goodness, I hope so. All I need for him to do is to be a crybaby, show up, talk about the rib, talk about all this stuff. That's the new marketing of Team Blackhouse, right? You go have a fight, and then all of a sudden, you know what, I wasn't feeling well. You know, Dos Santos did this. He goes out, he beats Kane. He could have just walked out. Instead, he's you know, I also got a torn ACL. And what these guys are trying to do is they're trying to tell a story. And the story isn't how I feel. The story is, I'm good, but I could have done even better had I only felt 100%. You know, that's the story that they're attempting to tell, and it's disgusting. So I hope he gets his excuses ready. I like easy fights, and he sucks. I would fight that guy every single day.
Hey, can I get your autograph?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Go ahead, sweetie.
Hey, Chael. I
Hello.
just came all the way from Port St. Lucie just to ask you this question.
I'm all ears.
Did you hear the news? I heard that Anderson was a metrosexual. What's your comment?
I am shocked. Really? I mean, that blows me away. What's next? You're going to tell me a UFC ring car girl got naked for a few bucks? I mean, you are blowing my mind. The hell you say, young lady? I don't believe it. I mean, that's like telling me that Overeem was positive. I mean, convincing me of that, that's like convincing me that Roy Nelson is clean. I mean, I'm just not going to believe it. I'm going to have to see it with my own eyes, but I'm just not hearing you, young lady.
And can I ask you one more thing?
Absolutely.
Can I come up there and give you a hug?
I wish you would. What's taking you so long?
Hey, everybody, thank you very much. We can't get any more questions, and I apologize. Big round of applause for the UFC's top contender in the middleweight one second. I think Chael has a parting statement for us, if you would. Chael?
Well, I lost my guitar, so I don't know. How are you, young lady? Truly a pleasure to meet you. Oh, am I getting a hug? Oh, that's right. I thought I was doing an autograph. It's very nice. Who are you going to send? This is written for Anderson Silva. I sang a little bit of it a couple of years ago, but I finished it on my way here. Anderson, think it through. There's still a couple months left before they lock that cage behind me and you. Last time, they raised your hand, but it was plain to see. I took a lot more out of you than you took out of me. I broke the mirror, and I blew away the smoke. It was me who tapped, but it was you who broke. So Anderson, my friend, think it through. Who are you going to send? Frankenstein Noguera or your lapdog Ed Soros with a couple of rusty pistols and a beat-up Ford Taurus? If they shoot like you fight, all they're going to do is bore us with your overrated stand-up and your takedown defense that's porous. Karate Boy Machida, will he show up with some fresh warm pee-pee in a Starbucks cup? Vandalay, Vitor, Babalu himself, I'll give them all beatings and put them back on the shelf. Come on trains, planes, or bikes, but here's a little advice. Don't send no one you like, because you come to my home running your mouth, you're going to be shaking hands with Jesus or the man further south. So get in the gym and work on your sprawl. I just talked to Uncle Dana and it's winner take all. I'm going to leave you with some string and a whole bunch of welts. Going to need it to keep your pants up, Anderson, because I'm taking your belt.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Chael Sonnen! Guys, 4 o'clock is the official weigh-ins. Right now, I'd like to make a special presentation on behalf of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Today, we will make a very special presentation to one of Atlanta's own. The Octagon of Excellence Award was created by the UFC to recognize individuals or groups that have excelled in their chosen sport, profession, or school. Today, the UFC is excited to recognize Atlanta's 2012 McNair High School Wrestling Program for their accomplishments last season. And to help us with this very special presentation, please welcome Reed Harris, the Vice President of Community Relations for the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Big round of applause for Reed.
Hey. You guys remember when he used to fight at the WEC? Right here, this is something I signed, Chael Sonnen. Hi, I'm Reed Harris. I'm Vice President of Community Relations for the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And today we're presenting an award. What we did is a couple months ago, we went on and looked at hundreds of stories about Atlanta groups, individuals, and schools looking for a program that exemplified what we stand for and what our fighters stand for at the UFC, which is commitment and hard work and perseverance. And we found a group of kids that I want you to meet. These kids, from what I understand, 3 or 4 years ago, there were 4 wrestlers in this program. Last year, they won DeKalb County and sent a number of wrestlers to the state championships. The other thing that we looked at in determining that they would receive this award, and I want you to listen to this statistic. In 2003, McNair High School had a 30% graduation rate. They now are at over 70% graduation. And I would like to recognize the principal, Dr. James Jones, who I know, is working hard to try to help this community and help its young people. So with that said, I'd like to bring out the McNair 2012 high school wrestling team. Now, with the Octagon of Excellence Award, we will be donating $10,000 to the wrestling program. And I would like to bring up Coach Raymond Tillery and Coach Clark, and these are the 2 guys that have made this happen. Give them a big hand. And I'm gonna actually, he doesn't know he's doing this, but I'm gonna give him the microphone, and just for a second, I'd like him to tell you a little bit about his wrestling program.
My wrestling program, when I first came to McNair, I started in 2007. I had only 4 wrestlers. My numbers has increased to 46 wrestlers now participating in the sport of wrestling at McNair High School. This year was one of our most successful seasons. We won county, we won region, and we played second in the region duels. These guys worked hard all season long, and they continue to do so. Out of my 4 seniors on my team, 3 of them have received wrestling scholarships.
In addition to this great honor going to the McNair Wrestling Program, we'd like to bring out some of the greatest wrestlers in UFC history. Hendo Dan Henderson, the U.S. Olympian, and the UFC lightweight champion of the world, Benson Smooth Henderson. Hi, bud. And, of course, a great wrestler, the All-American, Chael Sonnen. On behalf of the UFC, we'd like to present a check for $10,000 to the McNair High School Wrestling Program, given by Hendo Dan Henderson.
And also with the award, we're going to give them something to hang on their wall. It's the Octagon of Excellence Award. Who said I'll hold it? You going to be careful? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate you being here for this. Let's give the kids a hand. And I'll tell you what, the coaches were excited about the $10,000. The kids were excited that we gave every single one of them a ticket to the show tomorrow night. Obviously, our 2 guys in the main event are both wrestlers, as are these 3 gentlemen. It's a basis of our sport, and we are so proud to do this, and we're proud to help the city of Atlanta. Thank you very much.
Before we let you go, I'm going to just ask Dan Henderson, because he's a great wrestler. Wrestling has been part of his life since he was a young man. What advice would you give these young men who have achieved so much but have so much life ahead of them?
Basically just to enjoy it and you know, be dedicated, but you got to enjoy it and have fun along the way.
And tomorrow night you're going to be watching a little bit closely, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely.
The Hendo, Dan Henderson. Ladies and gentlemen, official weigh-ins at 4 o'clock. John Jones, Rashad Evans. Tomorrow night on pay-per-view. Thank you very much, everybody.
Hey,